Good day, viewers at home. This is another lesson on trigonometry. This time around, we are going to look at sine rule. How to solve questions on triangles using the sine rule. Just like we have Pythagoras rule, which is usually applied when we have a right-angled triangle, where we have the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. But when we have a triangle which is not a right angle triangle and we are asked to find the value of any of the lengths or the angles, we can either use the sine rule or the cosine rule. And there are some questions that you might choose to use any of the two. Both of them might be applicable. So let's look at sine rule first before the cosine rule. When you have a triangle A, B, C this way, the sine rule is talking about the ratio of each side and the corresponding angle. That means this side A over sine of the angle A is the same thing as this side B over sine of angle B, and is the same thing as this side C over the sine of angle C. We normally use the small letters to indicate the lengths, while the capital letters are used for the angles. So this is the formula, but it's not in every, or we don't apply all of this in the question. If, for instance, you are trying to get this length A, if the question gives you the value of this small b and this capital B, then you can take A over sine A equals B over sine B and apply the rule. Or you are not giving these two completely, you have this one completely. You can take A over sine A equals C over sine C. So it depends on what you are given that will determine what you use. Now, before you can decide to use sine rule, we have some conditions that must be satisfied. One, if you are given the three sides, that is, we know the value of A, B, and C, and then one of these angles is given to us. If you know the values of A, B, and C all, and then in addition you have the value of maybe B or A or C, you are free to apply sine rule. The second condition is if you have the three angles on one side. Let's say you have the angle A, angle B, and angle C, and you are given any of these values, just one out of the three, you are also free to use sine rule. The third condition is two angles on one side. If you have the values of two of these angles on one side, this is similar to when you have the three angles on one side, in the sense that if you are given two angles, it is easier for you to get the value of the third angle, because we know that the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So if I have A and B now, all I have to do is add them together, subtract from 180, I will get the value of C. So you can see that this condition is similar to this number 2. When you have two angles, it is as if you already have the three angles. When you are given two sides and the opposite and the angle opposite to one of them, you have two sides, like you have side C and side B in the question. You are given the value of B and you are given the value of C. Then one angle opposite to one of them. The angle opposite to this C is this, and the angle opposite to this B is this. So what this condition is saying now is that if, for instance, you have side A and side B, for us to apply sine rule, we must be given either angle A or angle B. So if you have two sides, you must have one angle that is opposite to either this one or this one. So we are going to take some examples on sine rule so that we can see how the rule can be applied. We have one here already. let's see how we go about this. In this question now, we are asked to find the value of the small c. That means you are looking for AB, this c. Now, what are we given? We have two angles and one side, which is the condition 3, the third condition given earlier. Two angles and one of the sides. That's what we have in this question. So, for us to get this C now, since the side we are given is opposite to this angle A, that means we'll be using 6 over sine A is equal to C over sine C, which is this one over sine this equals this one over sine this one. That's what we have explained earlier. We can take A over sine A equals B over sine B, or B over sine B equals C over sine C. Now, from this question, we cannot touch B because we don't know the length that face angle B. So, we can't use B now to get this value. But since we have the side A, we have the angle C, we are looking for the side C. And from what we are given here, it is easy for us to know which angle is here. How do we get this angle? This is a triangle. The sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. That means angle A will be 180 degrees minus the sum of the other two angles, 39 plus 82. So that is 180 degrees minus, if you add up this, you get 121 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 121, that is 59 degrees. So my angle A now is 59 degrees. So with this now, you can see from this diagram, we already know the angle A, we know the side, we know this 6 centimeter, we know the angle C. The only thing we don't have now is this letter C, which is what the question asks us to find. That means we are now free to use the sine rule. 6 over sine C A equals C over sine C. So that means 6 over sine. What is A? A is 39. 39 degrees equals C. What is C? C is given as what? Okay, we don't know C. And then our C, where is angle C? Angle C is 82 degrees. Angle C is what? 82 degrees. So, sorry, A is 59, not 39. 6 over sine 59 equals C over sine 82 degree. So now, for us to get C, we cross multiply. C will multiply this. This is C sine 59 degree equals 6 sine 82 degree. So sine 59 degree from calculator will give us C times, this one will be 0.8572. Now if you use your calculator to get your sine 82 degree multiply by 6, that will be 5.9418. So our C now will be 5.9418 divided by 0.8572. So with the use of calculator, our C will be 6.9316 centimeter.